So, gamers, welcome to a very consistent upload schedule. All right. Today, we're going to be talking about Star Wars 3.0. I know everybody has already sort of done this topic, but I did want to give my thoughts on it, right? Because I actually like it. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I thought it was pretty decent. But my chat seems to have already gotten up in arms of me mentioning it. um, just and because I've did my other videos, right, criticizing the games, right, with Genshin and Woo Up, right, I could have gone a bit more in depth with those. Um, it is what it is. We're now going to talk about Star Rail, right, with this current patch. So yeah, overall, I'm not super disappointed in it, but I did want to get a like vibe check from everybody going on here, and also give you my thoughts for it, right? Now I don't remember the fucking breakdown, so um we're gonna have to pull up a notepad real quickly to do a breakdown here, right? Just real quickly because I don't remember. Um, chat, give me a breakdown. What am I missing? What am I missing? If I'm missing something, tell me. Um, characters. Shit, bro. Yeah, it's not over yet, so it's hard to fully judge, but I'm still gonna give you my thoughts. Yeah. Yes, give me the bullet points that you want to talk about for the whole 3.0. All right, that's the point of this year because I'm gonna criticize the game, for what I think deserves criticism, right? But I do want to know generally what you guys like want to specifically point out because normally you got a lot of stuff to say, right? Um, and yes, I will be primarily comparing it to the introduction to Pinacone, which I think is its best comparison. Because I will say just flat out, I actually like this introduction more than the introduction to Pinacone, right? Um, I know that might be a hot take for some people, but genuinely, I do actually like. I'm more interested in this current stuff than I was in Pinacone stuff. Like I thought Pinacone stuff was cool, but it was hard carried by Acheron. Um, and I don't think they hit on the like whole uh like dream stuff as best they could have, right? But that's again like I'm gonna say that fucking catchphrase again, bro. It's a whole nother thing. Um, yes, we can talk about the gotcha. All right, not sure. We can talk about the gotcha. I don't think there's really much to talk about there. Oh, okay. Yes, the like 8 banners. Sure. Yeah, the 8 banners. Whatever. um, but yeah, design of the new world. Yeah, sure. Um, sorry, that's hair on the thing. Um, right. So overall, as I've been saying, Star Rail 3.0, I actually like. If you want to know my rating for it, I'm gonna be real. I'm going to probably give it an 8 out of 10. For the most part, I like it. Like for the most part, I like it a good amount. Right? It's not anything crazy. Um, sure, we can do puzzles, yeah. But I actually do like it. Um, I don't vibe with some of the characters, and it's primarily going to be the really hype ones, like Castor Ice, right? A lot of people are hyping up Castor Ice. I don't really care for her that much. She's kind of like whatever to me, to be honest with you. I mess with My Day and Finon more, right? However, I think they failed to build up their relationship as best they could have. Now, obviously, My Day's going to have more going on with him later because he's going to be a character that comes out in the next update. But I think they could have done a bit more with those two in the story, right? Um, which I guess is like the main topic is that everybody has been criticizing the story for it being too long, them not really saying anything for the first 4 hours or something like that, and whatnot. Now, I'll be real. I don't think it's a problem with the story content itself because, in my opinion, right, I think the story, what it's covering, is relatively basic, right? But I think it's pretty good, and I do actually like what it's doing and what it's setting up, right? Because it starts you out with you entering this unknown area, right? But March mysteriously gets sick, so your friend can't go, and so you know it's just you and Dan, right? You start out, you get shot down. Oh no, what happens? And then you have to discover what's going on around you. You get ambushed by two of the was it Cheros heirs? I forgot how to pronounce it. Anyways, you get introduced, you prove that you're trying to help out, right? Blah blah blah. You go to the city, you do all this, inner city conflict for a little bit, right? You walk around, try to talk to the people, right? It does kind of get a bit of filler like area in between because you have to like talk to Aglia, then leave, and then go back to talk to her. Um, Before you eventually end up setting on a quest to go slay the Titan of Strife before he gets sent back in time because he won't die, right? You activate the pillars and then you do that. So like if you were to like summarize it, it's basically it's kind of like I wouldn't say in like isekai anime, but it's basically you show up, you figure out what's going on, and then you help to save the day, right? You beat the bad guy, and it sets up for the next arc. It's kind of like the way I like to describe it is a season one of an anime, right? Like you could say season one of Isekai, but it's a season one of the anime, right? You beat the initial bad guy, and it's setting up for the next bigger bad, right? It's pretty simple in terms of what it covers. It's not trying to be like ambiguous with like the dreams are like this and that. Like it's not doing any of that. It's pretty straightforward, and I actually do kind of like that, right? The problem I have well, okay, to be fair, Aglia was a bit more mysterious and like, colluding with other people and whatnot, and they are setting up other plot elements of like the elders, right? They're setting up those other plot elements, but like that's just stuff added on top that, gets explained in season two, right? Which I think would it season two being, 3.1, right? So like the way they did it, at least in that regard, I actually like. I think it's pretty good, right? Especially like yeah, as you said, the core flame stuff. So like, I think that is done pretty well. The problem with it specifically is the storytelling, right? There was like about six or so scenarios where where Tribi, right, our Trian, right, whoever won, I think it's both. They set up these portals, right? Um, but it's just literally dialogue, black screen, more dialogue. There's no cutscenes, there's no animations, and for most of it, it's just straight dialogue for like an hour before you get like one combat fight and then another hour of dialogue, right? And so not having like full on cutscenes and not having like the small things like Tribi making portals does take away from it because it's like they could do all this stuff to enhance the storytelling, but they don't. And so all this insane amounts of dialogue that some of it has important stuff like how Trippy's getting like it hurts her to like make constant portals, right? Um can get missed easily. And again, it's kind of boring when it's just dialogue. Oh, here's something that could be a very short cutscene, and it's just more dialogue, right? Like it's parts of the storytelling that I don't think are done in the best way. Like there could be more cutscenes, there could be cut dialogue, right? Um, and like there's different ways for them to improve it, right? Now, obviously, it's not. I don't work for Hoyo. It's not really my job to like um explain it all in detail, but like there are clear storytelling issues that trying to do a plot like I wouldn't say well I guess you could say this expansive like it's like a whole season like one update, right? um Runs into with the amount of dialogue you have to pack in, right? And at the end of the day, right, it's a video game supposed to like interact with everything, but like when it's just straight dialogue, it's kind of like reading an essay, right? And most people don't want to just like read essays in their leisure time, right? Which for me, I benefited from breaking up 3.0 into segments. Like I had different play sessions to beat it at my own pace, right? I'm like, okay, I want to do this much story, and then I'll stop, right? So for me, I didn't really have that problem, but a lot of people, I would assume, probably felt it worse because they tried to rush through it in a whole 10-hour session, right? Um, but genuinely, I actually think what they cover in the story is pretty interesting and it sets up decently for what's coming next, right? What we can expect, right? We're trying to see what's going to happen with Caster Ice, right? Her trying to find the Titan of Death, right? We're trying to see what happens with the Elders, colluding with everybody. There's even a side quest where you interact and do a court battle with one guy and the Elders. Um, so there's stuff going on there, right? We don't even know like half of the heirs, right? We don't know half of them, and so there's a lot of hints and setups during the story that like are good. It's just the way they've told the story, it's bad. And I've seen a couple people comment that like it would benefit from the ZZZ storytelling style of like having the comic books to break up parts of it, and like that is something that might work, but I don't think that it would go well with this player base. I think they would kind of hate it, and so I genuinely think they just gotta, to be honest, it's really put more cutscenes and maybe cut back on the dialogue, right? And not have stuff that's just like that seems like filler. Like again, having to talk to Aglia, go walk around, talk to people, and then go talk to her again. Like I don't really think that was necessary, right? Um, so like there's more that can happen there, but I I think the story itself is pretty good, right? So I don't know how other people feel on that, right? I've heard mixed responses. Um, I know a lot of people definitely won't agree that it's better than like the introduction to 2.0, but in my opinion, I like what's going on with the story better, right? As an Acheron Glazer, I'm everybody. My chat knows Acheron's like, is my favorite character, right? But even as Acheron Glazer, Acheron I think just hard carries what happens in Pinacone because she like is the plot. Like she, whenever she shows up, things start moving, right? You're just like goofing around in Pinacone, then she shows up, we're moving, right? And that's like the main thing that was like kind of annoyed me with that is that like it was like there wasn't enough going on in my opinion, right? And to like compare to like 2.0, right? I do think it was good. Don't get me wrong. I like what's going on here a bit better, right? There's definitely people who say 2.0 is better at coping. Um, I mean, look, like here's the thing. The conceptual like dream stuff going on, it's not for everybody, and I do like it. I just prefer what they're doing here, right? Is it simple? Sure, right? But I like it. And again, as I said, it's like kind of like watching a season one of an anime, right? I think they did a pretty good job with that. Um, so here, let me space this out. I just want to like space this out so we can like talk about this. Um, Next part, the gameplay. Um, Pinocchio also felt like them using everything as a dream as an excuse to kind of do whatever. Yes, there was a lot of like goofy shit they did, like the totally necessary um trash can fight, right? Because Sampo had to show up for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm surprised it is this mixed. I genuinely think it's probably because more people uh were just like trying to burn through it all at once when I don't think that's the best way of doing it. But moving on to gameplay, they added some new enemies that do not really mix things up. Now, the enemies are gonna skew damage numbers a lot because they require X number of hits, and it's pushing more and more towards this thing where you have to have this really high action count for all these characters for them to actually do something right. The enemy mechanic is it's not Titan armor. It's not strife, it's something armor, right? They've got I think body armor. I don't fucking know. They've got a certain like armor body mechanic that requires X number of hits for them to remove it. War armor, thank you. War armor where X number of hits to remove it, and then they take more damage. Now it does an initial damage proc that I believe is based on their HP. And it also they just take more damage. So it's going to massively skew people's damage. It's going to massively skew people's perception on how powerful units are, right? Especially if there's units that have multi-hit stuff, right? Um, and so all that's obviously going to affect it a lot. I don't know if it's really the best because here's the thing. Teams like Follow Up are going to destroy it. Teams like Aglia are going to destroy it because they're going to get so many actions. But then teams like I would say Acheron aren't going to be as potent unless you're getting a lot of actions via your supports, right? Which is again pushing more and more for these more valuable supports like Linksha who have really high action counts that can actually counter these mechanics, right? So it definitely it hurts the bottom line more than probably previous mechanics because previous mechanics you could kind of get around it just by like breaking them. But now it's just like you don't have the actions, you're just kind of screwed, right? And again, it's going to skew the damage even higher for those people that do have a lot of actions. This is a shift they've been doing, I'd say, ever since Robin came out, where it's just pushing more and more actions, right? With all the no, actually, really Aventurine, right? Because he's the one who really had these high action counts, right? And Gallagher was also there, right? But it wasn't really prevalent until Aventurine came out with like multiple teams of really high action count. And it's been pushing this more than so like getting one big nuke with like old characters or like Aggron as an example, right? Just pushing them more and more actions. And so it doesn't really mix up the gameplay so much more than it does like skew the higher end of characters, right? And the reason why that matters is that it's gonna mess with people's perception of how actual characters perform, right? And they won't realize it because they're not thinking about how the enemy mechanics, play into the actual, game's combat, right? And all that stuff. So there is that. The gameplay is, it's Star Rail generally the same, right? You've got your 3 button skill characters, right? And yeah, that's about it, right? Nothing much has changed. The since the last time, really, the only thing that's changed is like the pure fiction back in last update where they reworked it. Uh, it's still a joke mode. That's really about it. I know some people struggle with that. Just invest in your characters more. I really can't. There's nothing more I can say about that. Like, there's not much to talk about with gameplay wise besides the new enemies, who again are just gonna fuck with like certain units' performance. Right? It just really is what it is. Watch them introduce even more action advanced mechanics and leave the old units in the dust. You're probably right, to be honest with you. All these new characters have a bunch of self action advance now, right? Or like self speed buffing. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, hey, look, the last time we had self speed buffing and action advance, those characters fell off, right? So we'll see what happens. As for the events, so the events, it's really hard to say because like we've only had the exploration event, and there was a mini game event where it's uh you doing a bunch of puzzles, right? It's just a series of puzzles, which it's okay. I mean, the exploration event's fine. It should always be a thing, um, right? Always whenever there's a new area. And as for the minigame event, I think they're okay. They're kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. And this is somebody as like that likes puzzles. I think that like to give credit to like Wuthering Waves, like their color puzzles, I actually really like. That's like my favorite thing of the like new region. But like the puzzles in this update are just kind of like whatever. I like the picture one to be fair, where you have to overlap the pictures. Um, but the rest of them, like the little dude walking across the map, uh, and all the like hold space bar to lift the thing. I honestly don't really care for it, bro. The fucking time mechanic just gets annoying to traverse the map because it's like you get to a stopping point. Oh, I have to blah blah blah. Like it it gets a little annoying with how much you have to do it, right? It's just a little bit annoying. It's not to like it's you want to uninstall annoying, but it just gets ever so slightly annoying towards like, okay, I've done this 50 times, right? They could be a bit more creative with how they handle the puzzles. Um, but it's the same thing as Penacony, where it's like you find the birds, right? You have to find the bugs in this one. Um, you've got to change the picture, like rotate the picture, like it's I don't know, I don't know. They just got kind of annoying. But yeah, we haven't really had any events. Oh wait, I should talk about remembrance characters. Um, oh yeah, the glove puzzles. Dude, the okay, actually I will say I think okay, out of all of them, anything involving the glove is really annoying. The glove moves too slow and I don't have enough freedom of movement. Just flat out. Um yeah, like the glove needs to be faster, bro. It takes too long to do anything with the glove. It's like, oh, time to lock in for 10 minutes to grab like 3 fucking coins, right? Like the glove is just fucking annoying, bro. I really it's dumb, bro. It's so dumb. Yeah. Yeah, you can't see the coins at the time. It's really annoying. Um, but yeah, that's really it. It's hard to say for events, right? We'll have to see. The crane is definitely worse. I agree. The crane is worse. But it's like the crane 2. This is like the crane 2. It's like the crane and cooler crane. But yeah, to circle back real quickly. Remembrance characters. I don't care about them. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that like really care about the character remembrance characters. I for one don't really care. It's just another path to do the same thing we already have. I've explained this before many times. Over like character archetypes. Um, uh, should I pause and try to find the list? I'm gonna pause and try to find the list. Okay, it actually took 2 seconds to find between the different DPS types. So remembrance characters are really just a new overall category for what we already have, right? In case you aren't familiar with this, or you haven't thought about this, we've got really a different variety of team types or like team concepts that the Star Wars team has tries to go for whenever they're building characters, right? And it's mainly going to be like this. They consider whether they're single target AoE or blast, right? And so they'll figure out from there what path they typically are. You've got your basic teams being crit, and crit has the different subtypes of being follow up, basic attack variants with enhanced basic attack, skill variants with enhanced skills, and ults of even enhanced ultimates. Right. Then you have a dot team, which is a team that focuses on debuffing and applying damage over time stuff. Right. Obviously, super break, which was an enhanced mechanic of an old mechanic that was already in the game that excuse me, used to not be very potent, but then they were like, hey, we're gonna have a way that you can force breaks now, right? And so that's gonna introduce a new team type that focuses on dealing toughness damage to the enemy, right, to force yourself damage. And so this, while it isn't technically the newest mechanic, was still a new team variant, right? Because you can now actually use builds of an underutilized stat, right? And now we have summons, which this I need to change this list from could be to where it is literally anything, right? We have summons that could be anything, right? Right now we only have, crit based summons, right? But there could be summons that are follow up based, right? There could be summons that are, enhanced skill based, whatever, dot summons, super break, or even healer summons, if you will, right? We can add healer to this. So like, Nemo sprites have a separate distinction in terms of buffing, right? Certain characters cannot buff Mimo sprites, or you have to buff the Mimo sprite directly. Or in Aglia's case, her damage is split between the Mimo sprite and the summon, right? So you can't necessarily do a buff for just one of them to maximize her damage. If you want to maximize her damage, you got to buff both of them, right? So there's a lot of like things you have to consider when team building, as well as it's called a Mimo sprite, bro. No, Mem is just the name of Mem, bro. Shut up. And so it is effectively the same thing as what we already have, but in a different form because you have an extra ally on field, right? This changes a couple things like giving Aventurine a different way to get a stack, right? Our in like the MC's case, right? Having you able to pull up the ally an extra turn because they also have a pull, right? So like the sprite can do anything that they just design it to be, right? And I for one I don't really care for it because like it's like the same thing, but oh, there's an extra ally on field. It doesn't change up too much, but at least with the MC specifically, they introduced true damage, which is effectively percentage of your damage that just is going to ignore defensive mechanics and whatnot, right? So it can allow certain characters to better maximize, and it's really just boosting that top end of characters once again by giving them a different color damage source, right? So like they are messing with stuff like this and experimenting with it, and so it's like, yeah, the Mimo Sprite can die, but if you just have a good team, it's not really gonna change anything, right? Because it's really just gonna be another. It's gonna honestly be like pseudo defense because the enemy could target that and not your other teammates, so like it's kind of better defensively. But yeah, it's really nothing crazy. It just adds on to the game by literally just being a different symbol on top of what the character is, and they as you can say, hey, they have a summon on field, right? Like it it doesn't change too much, but we'll see how creative they get with their kits, right? It's another like nihility path where it's like all encompassing in what the characters can do, really. um but yeah, no, vanilla, they will do brother. Mim has an ultimate, Mim has a skill, they do both, bozo. I brother, brother, they can have both. Do I have to fucking pull this shit up in the bro, bro, bro? You don't understand the distinction. I don't need to pull up the like 15-page list of the ability skills. Okay, there's like a whole write-up about. No, it's a part of the. It doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. Okay, there's a whole 15-page thing of a write-up about how the rules of the memo sprites work. Okay, nobody cares. Nobody cares, bro. You are saying this stuff because you think you are right. It is literally Dude, okay. Look at the thing. Look at the thing. This is just a crit boost. This right here is just Mim doing damage. It's just AoE damage. It's nothing crazy, bro. You are delusional. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. It nobody fucking cares, bro. It's just going to be a subcategory of a way it can do damage, bro. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. Shut up. You don't even understand the distinction here. You don't understand the distinction. It's just it's a fucking category. It's a way to sort characters, brother. It's not specifying the damage type. You brother, how do you not understand this? Shut up. Like it's dude, it how do you bro, he's not even paying attention. He's not even paying attention. I'm literally saying it's the exact same thing we already have, but they have an extra ally on field. It fits into these other subtypes the same. That's all it is. It's just a category. Like nobody cares. Anyways, moving on. Yes, true damage is technically a new damage type, okay? It is a thing that everybody should understand how it works. It's a universal thing across games. And nothing really changes with it. It's just yeah, there's nothing really going on there. Anyways, the new characters. I like half of the designs. I don't care for like half of the characters. I'm gonna be real. I'm only realistically summoning for Herta, whatever the next Nihility character is, and then I'm like saving for like, or like, I do like. Well, this is okay. This is kind of a lie. I do have like a chart that I have like the characters I like. I'm not gonna pull it up. Of like who I'm summoning for, but realistically, I'm only summoning for like Herta, and like maybe Cypher if she's like not a dot character or whatever the hell. Like they're cool. I'm not crazy over them. As I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of Castorice. Aglia, he does look pretty nice, but I'm not going crazy over the kit. Don't really care for it. I do have the full setup, by the way. I've got like all the support characters, but you know, it's like, um, I, I'm just gonna. I listen. While people may think on my channel I chase meta, I don't. I just go for who I like. Um, I like Herta. I want her, right? Otherwise, I'm probably saving for Fate unless there's something I need to like boost the setup I already have, right? Yes, I do like Kevin. I also like Kevin. Yes, Kevin. He's pretty cool. I vibe with his character, right? Um, so yeah, like I'm really just it's indifference to be honest. It's like indifference. Like I don't know. It's like here or there, like here or there. Uh, yeah. He's a Kevin lookalike, right? The real Kevin is already dead. Acheron killed him. It's just a lookalike. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I'm calling him Kevin because for that reason. He looks like Kevin. Um. Stop with the Honkai 3 BS. Okay, listen. Honkai Impact 3 bad. Um. Star Rail Fog. Blah blah. The look, it's no nobody cares. Nobody cares. Um, all right, now to the thing that I know has been a hot topic. Um, it's the gotcha slash power creep uh scenario, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that are really mad that they're doing 8 banners this update. And you want to know my honest thoughts? I don't care. I don't fucking care, bro. Listen. It is your fault for wanting everybody. Want less characters. Okay. Jokes aside, you don't need all these characters, okay? Um, and while I can understand people not liking the fact they're running 8 characters, they should rerun characters more often, flat out, right? I think they should rerun them more often. I honestly would say every update should be an 8 character update because now this game is having a lot of characters, and there's characters like Zila who haven't been out for a whole fucking year, right? Not that she's good, right? But I'm saying it's like you should give more characters an opportunity to have reruns, right? So they can come back often, and if people weren't stupid, they wouldn't have as much FOMO. And like, here's another thing. I think first off, I did have a Power Creep video recorded back then. I've already told chat this. I never uploaded it, but I think it's actually overblown. Some people are making it out like the game's unplayable. No, it's not. I beat the latest in-game content, Apocalypse Shadow, with fucking Jing Liu, who's got 0 buffs going on, right? Like, you can beat the content. And so, like, having 8 characters, I just think people have their priorities like messed up, to be honest with you. Like, I don't care about these 8 characters. And even as a newer players have a very easy route to grab these characters and then beat all the content. And if you're an older player, you should be beating the content in the first place. And if you're not, well, you're given a decent amount of pulls to pull the new character either way. So like I think it's the problem of people want everything, but they can't get everything because they're free to play. Like I really do not care that they're running 8 characters as a thing. I'll be real. Is it predatory? Yeah, it's a gacha game. Of course it's predatory. It's that simple. Like come on. Could be simply having not enough pulls. It's a gacha game. Plan your pulls better. You can say L take, out of touch take. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, brother, you should never think you can get everything. It is a gacha game. They want you to spend money. It's that simple. They know how many pulls they're giving us. But they should still rerun characters more often. It's less predatory than not doing it? What do you mean? What do you mean it's less predatory than not doing it? I think they should rerun characters more often. I think every update should be an 8 character update. You were like, no, that's insane. But it's like, if you had the opportunity, if you had more opportunities to pull who you wanted, then like that'd be great. Shit. Put all the 1.0. This is another thing. I was saying in a chat that you should just put all the 1.0 characters on a, 1.0 character banner and just have it up permanently for the duration of the new region, right? Releases a new region. All right, here's all the 1.0 update characters. Boom, you can summon for them, right? Whenever, right? 4.0 comes out. Here's all the 2.0 characters. You can summon for them if you want to. Like, they just rerun them more often. Plan your pulls. Doing more characters is less predatory practice than just doing 2 characters banner. I mean, yeah. Then we agree. I mean, I don't like fully agree, but I do think they should rerun more characters. Yes. I understand not liking it because I understand not liking 8 character banner because you may want all the characters. And that you probably won't have enough pulls to get all of them. But if you're that worried about it, then spend money. But if you're like, no, I'm free to play, well, then you're not gonna get all the characters, bro. Like, I lost 50-50 on Herta. I'm over here struggling. I'm probably not gonna be able to get her because I'm free to play. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not. Listen. Summoning doesn't do shit for me. All right, guys. It doesn't, bro. I'm not like these gambling addicts, gacha games who fiend over like everything, bro. Like, no, I don't care. Just like give me the character. I'm like, I get him or I don't. Like it's not that big a deal. All right. But I know some people get really attached to this shit, bro. More like scenarios wanting one specific character you missed, and with these banners, you get a chance to get them sooner rather than later. Yes. No, I agree with you. They should just do more reruns, flat out. Like if you know that they're gonna do consistent reruns with a bunch of characters all the time, you can expect, hey, my favorite character is gonna come back sooner, right? I can get them because I've grinded the game to get enough pulls to get them. Like 100%. I don't see why people were mad at the fact there's 8 characters. If anything, as I said, I think it's because they are free to plays who think they can get everything, or want to get everything, but they aren't willing to accept that they're not going to get everything, and um, the fact that these are people who are attached to meta. Keeping yourself attached to meta, you're gonna hurt yourself, bro. You're gonna freak out because of power creep. All right, stop it, bro. Chill the fuck out. It's like it's going to happen in some form or fashion, right? Power creep, that is. Um, but if you're constantly chasing meta and not getting what you want and not min-maxing what you want to beat the content, you're gonna have the problem of you're gonna spread yourself thin and not have pulls, right? You need to plan this shit, right? You can chase meta, sure, but be smart about it. All right. Don't go after every single fucking character when you don't have the pulls to go after every character. And like I do want to do a pool and guide video for at least Zenless and Star Rail. But it's like you gotta understand the gacha system, it's a gacha. It's predatory by its nature, all right? You are in control of your own actions to whether or not you get the character or not, right? If you care about the character, take the time to invest and pull for that character. Right. Very simple. Being as someone who wants to judge Ho, then maybe I shouldn't want those 2 characters. Wait, what are you talking about? Then maybe I shouldn't want those 2 characters? What? Hmm? But yeah, either way, I think we can move on for this. This isn't gonna be a video for like, you know, oh, power creep bad, blah blah blah. It's mainly just like the gacha system right now. I know there's people freaking out about it. But me personally, I don't think it's a big deal. They should do more reruns to get these characters cycling back in. Right. You only want them for meta? Oh, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I pulled Zhao Cho because he buffed Akron. It's that simple. And then there's the 40 pull incident, which we don't talk about. Um, you agree that Ho is the best Aglet? No, actually, because she can outspeed the buff, and she also doesn't realistically need that much energy recharge. Um, that's going to be a more nuanced discussion. We're not going to talk about that here. Anyways, so as for the design of the map, right? I again got kind of annoyed at how many of the like space bar things there were, or at least the way it was implemented. It's okay. I do like the visuals though. Huge fan of the Greek mythology, right? I like all the like the skyboxes, right? They look really nice. The designs of basically everything I do think are pretty cool, interesting. I don't really have any thoughts on this. This is something that Vanilla brought up, so I'm assuming they have their thoughts on this. Um, I don't know if like chat's got like anything else to say specifically on the design side of things. Um, you brought up the map design of 3.0 or like whatever it was. But yeah, I mean that I can't. There's nothing I can comment there honestly. Bro's pausing. I think it's super big. I don't think it's that big, bro. I'm gonna be real. It's pretty small. There's like there's 4 stages. It's not that crazy. I mean, the one stage where you go back in time, yeah, sure, that's really big. But it's very good to add the speed thing. I'll be real, I don't like the speed thing. I think that should be like so like I'll be honest, I think that should be a toggle. You know how there's those water fountains? Um that you can get those like stage buffs. I think that should be a toggle where you can like toggle on one of the water fountains to get a speed boost while you're running around. Right. Those breakables, like why is that? There should be an item. Actually, there should be an item in our inventory that we can use to increase our speed. Why is there not one? There are techniques that do it. the technique stacks with the breakables that increase your speed. So why is there not a food item that we can grind for that increases our speed when running around the map? People are only going to use it to explore the map like, X amount of, hours, whatever, and then they're done with it. Uh, Yet their solution is to add a fucking breakable. I think it's dumb. Um, and it's because they did a lot of space on the map, to be fair. But like, dude, I just equip Yukong, who I believe is, I don't know if she's still free, to be honest with you. She's probably not. Knowing how updates work, right? She might be free. Uh, is she free on the second side of MOC? I don't know. Either way, I equipped Yukong and ran around the map. It's that simple. I don't know. I don't know anything there. Uh, we already kind of mentioned puzzles. Yeah. I like the picture ones. The hand ones are cringe, and the fucking fire one is whatever. I don't really care. Um, yeah, damn, that's really anything. I don't have too many other criticisms. Right, it's Star Rail's pretty much the same as as it was last update. Uh, the main one I think is the issue is the storytelling. I still think that needs work, right? And yeah, that's really about it. I just think the storytelling needs to work. Uh, Hopefully they add they need a test dummy, bro. They need a test dummy. They still need a test dummy. Like, why don't these games have? Oh, you know what they need besides a test dummy? A skip button. Listen, Poyoverse. Every other gotcha game got a skip button now. Shit, Zinla's got a skip button for its cutscene stuff, right? And a replay archive. Tell me why you don't got a replay feature in your other two damn games that are big, right? And you don't got a skip button, bro. Listen, I didn't skip the story, but you know damn well I'm skipping like most of these world quests because I do not care. I do not care, bro. There are a bunch of world quests. This ain't Genshin. All right, world quests are the side content, right? Uh, Especially with events too, right? Brother, just let me skip the dialogue. There's no reason not to. This shit's annoying. All right. Listen, again, I didn't skip through the story, but like it'd be mad annoying. Um all right, I think that's everything. To be honest with you. So yeah, Star Rail 3.0, my thoughts overall, as I said earlier. I do think it's like an 8 out of 10. I do like it. Just my main criticism is I do think the storytelling can be improved. I do think that is the biggest flaw here. That is the real like issue going on here. Um, if people do want to see it, I could do like a remake of the video talking about power creep. The TLDR for that one is pretty much uh, people are overblowing it and they're not realizing how enemy mechanics actually balls. They're not realizing how enemy mechanics actually affect it, and they're not realizing HP inflation, stuff like that, and all the other stuff, right? Like MOC buffs and whatnot, right? So yeah, thank you for watching. If you did all the way on YouTube, don't really like, subscribe to me on Twitch. See you guys in the next one. Which if I don't go on another spree of not uploading, probably the Arc Knights review, right? I don't know, maybe we'll see. Yeah, see ya.